Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I go by the name Tete and I give you information on Erasmus Mundus scholarships in the UK and then beyond. If this is the first time you are watching any video on this channel, I'm glad you are here on this channel. You will definitely find a video worth watching. Kindly hit on the subscription button for me and then the post notifications so that as and when I release a new video, you would be the first to be notified. Today, we would be looking at the multiphase program, and we are directly on the objective page of the multiphase program. The multiphase program proposes an Erasmus Mundus Master in the booming field of multi-systems with the ambition of educating a new generation of industrial experts, engineers and researchers to bring the chemical industry into a new age based on sustainable processes, circular economy and all the potential of digital tools. Okay, so with this masters, that is the multiphase, you get to study in France, Italy and Germany. Okay, so I'm going to put all the relevant links in the description so that you can have access to all this information, so you can read more about the objectives of the program. Yeah, so let's just look at the entry requirements. Okay, so how can you be eligible for the multiphase Master, Erasmus Mundus Master? Okay, so let's look at the type of degree that you need. To be eligible, it is necessary to have a bachelor's degree, that is to say at least 3 years full-time in an higher education institution. In European standards, it is equivalent to 180 ECTS. Okay, so don't worry, all you need to know is that in Ghana or Nigeria, you have studied at the university for 4 years, so you already qualify to have a bachelor's degree, so you are eligible. But then let's look at the typical course that you must have studied so that you do not get confused. Okay, so more specifically, it is required to have at least a Bachelor of Science degree or equivalent. Okay, so you must have a Bachelor of Science degree or equivalent in what? In engineering, chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, any form of engineering. So just bear that in mind. Listen, degrees of Bachelor of Engineering or Bachelor of Technology are not accepted. Okay, so it has to be a Bachelor of Science. However, if you have a Bachelor of Engineering or a Bachelor of Technology and in addition a Master of Science or an engineer degree, then you are eligible. In this case, once declared eligible, both degrees, that is your undergraduate degree and then your graduate degree, will be evaluated at the same level. If you are studying a bachelor's program and you don't have your degree yet, you can still apply for this program. Okay, so just bear that in mind. Now let's look at the academic level. Okay, so to be eligible, your CGPA needs to be equal or better than 75% of the grading scale maximum. So you should have good grades. Okay, at least the second class upper and then above. So second class upper, first class, then that puts you in a good standing to be awarded a scholarship. Okay, so let's look at the scientific background of the program. Your scientific background must be aligned with the multi-phase master so that you can follow smoothly the lectures. This alignment is an eligibility as well as an evaluation criterion. Okay, so the objective that we read earlier, we didn't read everything, but you can go back and read that. So the link will be in the description, and make sure that your Master of Science is in alignment with the objectives of the multi-phase master. Okay, so most of the time your scientific background is well adapted if your degree is in what? Chemical engineering. However, since the multi-phase content sits in the confluence of chemical engineering, mechanical engineering and computing engineering, students from different backgrounds are warmly invited. In particular, the following other degrees are likely to be accepted. Okay, so that is mechanical engineering, physics, computational engineering and civil engineering. Yeah, so accredited university. So your bachelor's degree must have been awarded by a university listed in. So you can check any of these links, and I'm sure coming from Ghana or Nigeria, your university should be listed in any of these links. Okay, so that is with accreditation. Okay, so let's look at the English proficiency. Okay, to be eligible, it is required to have a minimum level equivalent to a strong B2 in the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages scale. To prove that you have this level, 3 options are possible. Okay, so first and foremost, you can provide the certificate of an English test, that is with the IELTS, the TOEFL, the Cambridge test, and then the Pearson test, that is with the English test. Or you must be a native English speaker. If you are not a native English speaker, then you have studied a bachelor's degree in English. So all these 3 things makes you eligible. So once you're coming from Ghana or Nigeria or any other English speaking country from Africa, English is your native language, that qualifies you. Even if that doesn't qualify you, even if the institution doesn't recognize countries from Africa as native English speaking countries, don't fret. So far as you had your bachelor's degree, that is your undergraduate degree in English, all you need is an English proficiency letter from your university to prove that you studied in English and understand English, and with that you are good to go. Okay, so these are the entry requirements for the program. Okay, so moving on, let's look at the documents that you would need when applying for the multi-phase master. Okay, so first and foremost, we look at the scan of your ID document, that is the scan of your passport, where you have your passport picture and then your personal details. You need to scan that and then save that in a PDF format. Okay, then the next thing that you need is a photograph. So a recent photograph will also be asked. It will be used for the class book and to help the consortium recognize you during the first days of the program. Okay, so I beg of you, my people from Ghana, my people from Nigeria, my people from the rest of Africa, these days you can use your phone to take very high quality pictures. So if you have a high quality phone, you can use that to take your picture. Okay, if the quality is high. But if you know, for the love of God, if you know that the picture quality of your phone is not good, I beg of you, find a little money and go to the studio and take a professional picture, and just ask the photographer to give it to you in the soft copy. Okay, you just get the soft copy from the photographer and then you upload it as part of the documents that you would need. Okay, so we have already spoken about the proof of English proficiency. If you are a native English speaker, you do not have to prove any English proficiency. And also, even if they do not recognize you coming from Africa as a native English speaker, you can always get an English proficiency letter from your university to prove that you can speak and write good English. Okay, so the proof of Bachelor of Science level. Okay, I think we have already spoken about this, but let me read this so that we do not miss any pertinent information. If you have already graduated, it is required to provide a document proving that you have been awarded at least a Bachelor of Science degree or equivalent. If you are currently studying in a Bachelor of Science program and do not have yet a degree, you can still apply. In this case, before the application deadline, you must provide the following documents: an official document proving that you are actually enrolled in an education program. A certificate of registration is most recommended. An official certificate stating your expected graduation date. An official student record book, that is a provisional academic transcript. Okay, students, some documents must be translated into English and notarized. Please refer to the application guide. This is for people who have to translate their documents from the language it is sent to English. But my people coming from Ghana or Nigeria, all our documents are already in English, so you are good to go with the application process. Okay, so now we can look at the scientific background. I believe we have already spoken about it, but then let's just read so that we do not miss any pertinent information. Okay, you will be asked to fill in a PDF form to demonstrate that the courses that you have followed so far put you in a position to follow the multi-phase courses without major difficulties. Okay, 5 categories of courses are distinguished. That is mathematics, fluid and solid mechanics, chemistry, thermodynamics, heat and mass transfer, programming, and other courses. For each category, up to 3 courses can be detailed. So please focus on the courses that are most able to show your alignment with the multi-phase program. For each course, it is needed to give the course name as specified on the record of transcripts. Here, course means a model, a teaching unit, not the whole program. Okay, so bear that in mind. The content up to 300 characters as keywords, hours, estimated total number of hours. If you really want the course details for your course, I would advise you to get your university handbook where you had your undergraduate studies. There's always a university handbook. Once you get that handbook, you can see the course model and in the description of the course, and that would help you to fill in the form when you are starting your application process. Okay, so just bear that in mind. The next thing that you need is a cover letter, and with the cover letter, that is the letter of intent, your letter of motivation, or your statement of purpose. Okay, so I have a video on how to write a statement of purpose that would be in the description link, so you can watch that video and write your statement of purpose. But let's look at the requirements for the statement of purpose. 1 full page is far enough to explain your motivation. Do not repeat the details that can be found elsewhere. This is an exercise of synthesis and decision making. What is important? What is less important? Stick to 1 page strictly. Additional pages will not be evaluated, so bear that in mind. And then address it to the selection committee. Okay, so you address it to the multi-phase selection committee, and then your font can be in 11 or 12 points, and then you can use any type of font as long as it is readable. Do not play abusively with the margin, since a text that is too dense is unpleasant to read. Okay, avoid 1 paragraph fully packed page. Okay, so make sure that your paragraphs are adequate. It shouldn't be 1 long paragraph. I would advise you for a paragraph to be at most 150 words. So after every 150 words, okay, so just bear that in mind. The cover page must be signed either with an inked pen on paper or with a scan of your signature. So after you finish writing your statement of purpose or your letter of motivation, make sure that you sign it as well. Yeah, okay, so the next thing that you need is your CV. I would advise you to use the Europass CV, and it's even written here. Europass CV service is accessible online by clicking, so you can click on this link, or if you do not know how to do it, in my description there's a part that I've written relevant resources, and there you can find how to create a Europass CV. Within a few minutes you would be able to do that. Okay, so a few guidelines. There is no maximum number of pages. Keep it pleasant to read by putting what is relevant and discard unnecessary details. You can keep the Europass logo or remove it to gain place at your convenience. There is no need to list your recommendations in the CV, since they will be uploaded on the application platform. Okay, so in your CV, please do not add recommendations or references. Okay, that will be part of your application, so move that from your CV, right? Okay, so other guidelines, education and qualifications. Please complete this section as fully as possible, indicating any relevant higher education qualifications. This is in relation to your CV. Also, make sure that you have a portion for employment and experience, and then you should highlight your participation in conferences, internships, non-governmental organizations, summer schools, and other socially sensitive or political activity, as well as any prizes, awards received, even if these activities are not specifically connected to the area of multiphase. Just make your CV stand out. Just bear that in mind. So the next thing that you need is self-introduction video. You are asked to prepare a short video to introduce yourself, your background, your motivation to join multiphase. Do not hesitate to be creative. informative, and do not worry if there are redundancies with the CV or the cover letter. This exercise is not formal and just meant to let us know you better as a person. Okay, so the consultant wants to know you better as a person. So just make sure that you have your cover letter at your fingertips, and with that you could be able to generate your self introduction video. Very simple. Okay, now let's look at the formal requirements. Okay, the duration, it should be strictly between 3 and 4 minutes. Okay, keeping it short proves you have an ability to express synthetic ideas. Okay, the sound quality, make sure the reviewers can hear you properly. The background is your choice. The format has to be in MP4, sorry, MP3 is for audio, MP4 and then PTT like slides. They are possible, but we want to see you and hear you. Okay, so just make sure it's in MP4 format. Forget about PPT has to do with PowerPoint. Don't do that. Just make sure that you have a phone with a good quality, and just get someone to video you in 3 or 4 minutes with your motivation letter at your fingertips. You should be able to do your self introduction video. Very simple and then straight to the point. The next thing that you need are letters of recommendation. Okay, so to be eligible, your application must contain at least 1 recommendation from an academic staff. Okay, 2 additional recommendations are possible. Okay, so the best thing to do is that you have 1 recommendation from an academic staff, that is someone who has taught you during your undergraduate studies, and then another recommendation from an employer. Okay, so look at the procedure. Let's look at the procedure. The general procedure is as follows. You choose a referee, that is, you have already identified the people to write your references for you. You ask for a recommendation letter to support your application to Multiphase from your referee. Okay, you enter his or her details on the application platform, including their email addresses, and then you click on send request for individual assessment. Okay, then the referees are going to receive an automatic email from Multiphase, and then the referee would then have to upload your reference letter. Okay, so getting these documents finalized often require a lot of time, so the consortium advises you to begin as soon as possible and keep an eye on its progress status. Okay, so once you fill in their details, just make sure that you keep reminding them to send in your recommendation letter. Always give them the deadline well in advance so that they know that they have to fill in your reference request as soon as possible. Okay, so the last thing here is the academic transcripts. Okay, so you need your academic transcripts from your university. Okay, just make sure that you have your academic transcript of records, and then you are good to go. Okay, so these are all the documents that you need: a scan of your ID document, a photograph, proof of English proficiency, a proof of bachelor's degree, that is your undergraduate certificate, your scientific background like we explained earlier on, the cover letter, that is your statement of purpose, your CV, your self-introduction video, and then your letters of recommendation, as well as your academic transcripts of records. Okay, so now let's note the important dates. Okay, 2 successive application campaigns are organized every year. However, our concern is the campaign for the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master Scholarship. Okay, so the deadline for Erasmus Mundus scholarship applications is 29 February 2024 at 1 p.m. Paris time. Okay, applications opened on the 5th of January, and then the deadline is 29 February at 1 p.m. Paris time. So just bear that in mind so that you do not miss the application deadline. Okay, then the last thing is now we have to apply. So I just take you straight to the application platform where you just click on create an account, and then you get to start your application process. You fill in the details and then you register, and then you can start your application process. Okay, this is it for today. I wish you all the best in your application, and I will definitely catch you on the flip side. Stay blessed. I'm out.